Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus Cornix, so welcome to Yacc, yet another Crowcast where I pick a game I played for a week and then I'll talk about it. This week's game is Predator for the Nintendo Entertainment System. It was released in 1988 and it's a single-player platformer developed by Packing Video and published by Activision. And also there'll be spoilers up ahead, just so you know, but first a little backstory. So I'd known about this game through the Angry Video Game Nerd, and I thought, how bad could it be? And oh boy, let me tell you about it. So at the start of the game, you get text explaining about the Predator movie's trademark by Paramount. And then you get a green ship dropping down a smaller ship to a spinning disco ball, which I assume is Earth. Then the main character Dutch appears and he shoots at the screen, and a Predator makes an appearance as well. And this sequence loops until you press start or continue. And the plot of the game is actually similar to the movie, but it picks up right after the Predator has taken out most of Dutch's buddies. So the first level of the game is stage 1, so you start in the jungle with 4 lives, you're dropped in, and enemies here are green scorpions and red soldiers, and for some reason you can ride the green scorpions, I don't know what that's about. And another bad thing, or a bad choice that Dutch made, he's actually wearing camouflage that is pink, and I don't think that's standard military issue, but he's wearing pink. I think it has something to do with the NES's palette, but come on. In other versions of the game, Dutch actually has blue camouflage, which is slightly better. Dutch just starts with his basic punch, and for some reason you can't duck and punch at the same time, and that makes dealing with enemies a lot harder. There's actually a lot of weapons you can find throughout the game. There's actually a hidden weapon at the beginning of the level as well to the left, but it's hidden in the foliage of the tree. On the top of the screen you have life, current items, and extra lives, and luckily this game doesn't have a timer, because that would be a terrible idea. And if you die for any reason, Dutch will explode into a couple of tiny pieces, and I guess that's just like the movie. My first obstacle in the game was literally a rock wall. And I know, there are a couple of grenades you're supposed to throw at it, but the throwing mechanics is just a mess. So after a while I realized I could take a death and just jump over it instead. And soon enough, after some platforming, I found a cave entrance leading to stage 2. And inside this cave there's a lot of platforming with knockbacks, and I wasted all my lives and I got to see the game over screen. So I realized there and then that this was not going to be easy, so I grabbed an energy drink from the kitchen and I pressed on. And this level is almost impossible to do without taking any damage. And I didn't even have a weapon because I game overed. And to add insult to injury, as I said before, you can't duck while punching or punch while ducking. So I had to brute force my way through the whole level, and somehow I made it. Stage 3 is inside of a dark cave, and the music here is pretty good actually. And another thing that's really good, now, I can't just say bad things about the game, I had to mention some good, right? So when you start a stage over, for any reason, you will have a full set of lives, and that's nice. So the enemies of the level are plants spitting balls, brown flying ghosts, metroids, and amoebas. At least I think they're amoebas. So I picked up a laser gun, which wasn't in the movie, but it is in the game. And one of the things about this level is that you can see the exit right when you start, but you have to walk around to get there, and that's just frustrating. Stage 4 has you picked up grenades and going down, dealing with enemies that wasn't in the movie, believe it or not. Add some blind jumps and terrible platforming to that, and you got yourself a terrible level. In short, this level wants you to go down and go up again, and at the end of the level you will face off against a predator, and I think there are 10 predators in the game, but in the movie there was only 1. But the fight is basically easy, you just stand and shoot at him and he can't do much about it. And then there's a cutscene where Dutch finds the hostage's body skinned alive hanging upside down from the trees. And then you get to play big mode, which is exactly what it sounds like. There's a big Arnold on the screen with a gun, side-scrolling, shooting bubbles, sprites, and eventually shooting at a bigger sprites of the Predator himself. Stage 5 has jungle and platforming, and to be honest, I didn't make it far this week at all. This game is just too hard for me. The platforming is just terrible. And at the end of the game, you fight a huge disembodied head of the Predator, which I definitely remember from the movie. So even the end dialogue is changed, just for the game, I guess. So at the end of the game, the Predator reveals his face, and Arnold says, "You're one ugly beast." And if you've seen the movie, that is not at all what Arnold says. So of course, the alien's bomb explode. He has a detonation nuke wrist thing on, and there's a big explosion, and the game ends with a text saying, "Congratulations, you survived." And I'm just gonna leave it at that. So, gameplay. Platform through the levels, beat random enemies and multiple predators in the process. Control the D-pad is movement, the B button is weapons, the A button jumps, and the start button pauses. Graphics. So the graphics looks okay for the NES, but it's nothing to write home about. And I still can't wrap my brain around the concept of wearing pink camouflage. Sound and Music. Junichi Saito made the soundtrack for this game, and I like the title and ending theme the most. And he also made a soundtrack for the MSX version. Easter egg, secrets, and glitches. So Kevin Peter Hall played the Predator in the movie. He's a really great guy, and this has nothing to do with the game, but I just wanted to throw it in there. So this game is a bit buggy. You can actually get stuck in the geometry, but the developers thought of this and they made a function when you pause the game. If you press A or B, you actually self-destruct, and I found out the hard way that's a thing. I also watched a speedrun of this game by Slaughterhouse Rock on YouTube. He beat the game within 14 minutes and 22 seconds, and that's really impressive. So in conclusion, I wrote, no, play something else. The platforming and controls feel so off, and I died over and over again. And if your game is about platforming, that's the one thing that needs to be smooth and worked out. It's that simple. One thing I liked about the game, surprisingly, was the soundtrack. That just clicked with me. So my recommendation would be that watch the movie instead and never play this game because it's terrible. So anyway, thank you for listening and for watching, and take care.